Every time I talk about February 14th, I like to go back to February 13th. We had a basketball game, and then on our way home, Joaquin asked me if we could stop and buy some flowers for Valentine's Day. He wanted to bring some flowers to his girlfriend. The next day, we wake up, he gave a kiss to his mother, bye mom, I love you. He jumped in the car with his flowers, his cell phone, of course, and his headphones. Once we got to school, I told him, hey, make sure you call me so I know what happened with the flowers and Tori, because I want this. Yeah, don't worry, I'm gonna call you. And then he never called.
17 people have been killed.
The Douglas High School.
Oh my God! I have the gunshot victim. He's by the entrance on the west side of the school. Does he know where the shooter is? We don't know, but we're entering the building.
So you start thinking any positive option before finally at 2 a.m. in the morning, they called us to a little room on a side that your son is one of the victims. My name is Manuel Oliver. I am Joaquin Oliver's dad, and I lost my son at the Parkland shooting on February 14th, 2018. They call it the shock moment. You still don't know what happened. You don't get it. You're not there yet. And that moment is followed by many, many new feelings, like getting back home and having an empty room in which you usually have fun. That's not gonna happen anymore.
Well, this is a poster that we got from the funeral day. The you were a friend of his, just putting together all the pictures you see, and they just all signed it, and just a lot of love memories here. This is something that you have to realize that this is what it is. Every time you see these kind of things, you see, well, this is for real. Helps a lot. Because we never knew how much farther he went with his, with his kindness.
But at some point, the shock moment turns to a reality moment, and then you understand where you are. And that took a while. And when that day arrives, that's when you decide, okay, this is what I'm willing to do here. I have to represent Joaquin the way he was, which is being able to communicate in a cool way with music, through art, sports. If I'm capable of doing that along with Patricia, then I might feel better.
Joaquin was always very politically aware. He always wanted to stand up for, who wasn't being stood up for.
Oh man, Joaquin was one of those people, like he was very outspoken. It's like he's just someone who just couldn't sit aside at the injustice of the world. He could do something about it, he had to.
Joaquin was a real active activist.
He believed and stood for what was right, and he fought for it.
On top of the gun violence issue.
He was so angry with the guns on Sandy Hook.
Writing letters to the NRA before, it was cool.
He had it clear. I'm the one that is learning what Joaquin was fighting for. I wasn't supposed to be doing this, but now that I am doing this, I want to do it the way that I know how to handle it.
We need to do something, because crime, we're not gonna solve this problem. The attitude Manuel has, the way he expresses through his art, through his words, is a reflex of Joaquin's voice. Don't have a doubt about it.
You will never see me wearing a tie, waiting in Washington to be received by a senator or a congressman so I can speak to them about my problem. I think that's bullshit.
This is our way, and that's Joaquin's way.
Yes, we do have some reactions, emotional reactions, but mostly we have a goal. If in order to reach that goal, we need to go through that, welcome. Let's do it.
Tomorrow morning, the sun will be shining, the birds will be singing, and anyone will be able to legally download instructions to 3D print their own fully functional plastic gun.
I don't get it.
I mean, I don't understand who thinks this is a good idea.
3D printing guns are not a bad idea, are a terrible idea. There's no registration, there's no serial number. It's so unreal. So you're practically saying no to everything that we're trying to accomplish. It's like a cancer that is starting. We need to get rid of any initial cell that might emerge into something worse. We need to find a way to hit it in their faces. The same 3D printing process that some people is using to make guns, we're gonna use it to develop a 3D printed activist, which it happens to be Joaquin. This 3D printed activist will travel along with groups that are looking for those gun sense laws.
And this project in special is gonna make a difference.
To 3D print Joaquin on our large format printers, we had a 3D representation of Joaquin, and our digital artists actually were able to go in and look at the model and sculpt him, almost like out of digital clay. It's almost like your Michelangelo sculpting out of marble or, wood, except with today's technology, you can use digital clay and digital tools to make sure that you get everything so that it looks just the way you want it.
I'm just still digesting that I'm gonna see Joaquin in natural size pretty soon. The eyebrows.
That's our son. The way he's standing, like
here I am.
Bring it in, that's cool. That's very him. This is a way to feel proud of your son when your son is not here anymore. I am proud of my son. And this is just the beginning. Today, we are heading to Times Square. Basically, the protest is about 3D gun activists that will start fighting 3D gun printed guns. At the same time, how close we are to the elections and how Joaquin is inviting people to go ahead and vote. The sculpture itself has a microchip that will direct people to a digital race of awareness. You can sign the petition to stop this crazy 3D printing and having Joaquin bring in a message.
And walk is back to let you understand what happens when we let these laws get out of our hands.
This is the life-size replica of Joaquin Oliver. He will forever be 17, but he is not, ladies and gentlemen, a victim, as you might imagine. And he is much more than a statue.
On February 14th, Valentine's Day, he got shot 4 times. Not before giving the flowers to his girlfriend. Joaquin Oliver is officially a member of March for Our Lives.
The expert committee of the International Children's Peace Prize has decided to award to the initiators of March for Our Lives.
There is no one day that we don't do something to fight gun violence. It could be a post, or it could be a rally with 300 people. Inaction is not going to work. There is definitely no change without action.
So we have to bring that confidence that we can do something about it.
Society pressure, what's happening outside in the streets, what people is demanding for, means a lot. So politicians and the things that we do, they work together, endorse the specific people, because now we endorse ideas and movements.
His name is Joaquin Oliver. He was only 17 years old when he was shot down inside his school. During the last year, he's been around fighting against gun violence. We gave you our votes. Now we expect you to do what needs to be done. Where are your kids right now? Are they safe? Have you called them? I can tell you, Sam, when we called Joaquin, it was too late. Are you going to approve that bill? Are you going to pass that bill? I think you should. Shame on you if you don't. This will happen tomorrow. Bang! That's tomorrow. 105 people will die tomorrow. 15 of them will be kids, just like Joaquin. Same way we voted for you, we can vote you out. No one will vote us out, ever. It's our call. It's your responsibility.
The 3D Activist Project gave us a new direction of bringing my son to the discussion. It's not only the sculpture, it's the actions that this sculpture is going to be involved in. I don't think that his sculpture will solve the problem, but I do think that it's going to be a very powerful tool of communication of what needs to be done.
February 13, 2013. Dear U.S. gun owner, I am writing this letter to talk to you about how we're going to solve this gun law movement. Most of you have a problem with the idea of a universal background check. Why are you mad at there's background checks is for your own good? Maybe you are fond of having crazy people with death machines. You shouldn't have anything against background checks if you're innocent. Thank you, Joaquin, Coral Springs. It's important. That is important, the date. You know, this happens 6 years before what happened to him.
Last month, the Olivers visited Capitol Hill with a statue of Joaquin to deliver this letter and to call for change.